What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. We got another great show for you guys. MLB Free Agency. We got rumors swirling. We have a couple of small signings. Dodgers bring in Shelby Miller to try to help their bullpen. He's a guy whose career has not gone quite as planned. Was the top starting pitching prospect. He was in Atlanta. He got a really good start to his career. Then was traded to Arizona in that famous trade where Atlanta got Dansby Swanson, as well as Ender Inciarte. Of course, Atlanta ended up getting highway robbery in that trade. Swanson turned into a great player for them. Of course, now he's one of the top free agents on the market, and Shelby Miller really fell off since then. He's turned into a reliever. Dodgers trying to get some bullpen depth, so they bring him in. Nationals high Yammer Candelario, 1 year, $5 million. He was a top prospect with the Cubs. Got traded to Detroit in that very well known trade. Traded one a few years back where Detroit sent Alex Avila and Justin Wilson to the Cubs. He's another guy who did not quite work out. He's been, very inconsistent. He's had a year or two where he's been pretty good. He's had some years where he struggled. He struggled last year. He goes to Washington. Maybe Washington hoping maybe see if they can resurrect his career, or at least get a decent trade chip. We got supposedly the Tampa Bay Rays have spoken to Jacob deGrom. They're pessimistic about the chances of signing him. The Rays, of course, don't spend that much money, so I doubt they would want to spend the amount of money to get deGrom. But they did talk to him, so that's an interesting rumor. We'll see where that goes. I'm hoping as a matter of fact he goes back to the Mets. I do think the Mets will re-sign him. Brandon Nimmo, who I'm worried about the Mets possibly losing, and some of their other guys like Chris Bassett and Taijuan Walker and those guys. But we shall see. The Toronto Blue Jays brought in Don Mattingly to be their bench coach. Of course, former Marlins manager was let go by the Marlins after 7 seasons. Marlins brought in Skip Schumacher to be the next manager, I believe it was. I think it's a very good choice. Mattingly is a great player. If he didn't have the back injuries, would definitely be in the Hall of Fame. Was a great first base for the Yankees back in the day for a long time. He does have some playoff experience. Was in the playoffs a few times with the Dodgers. Was in the playoffs a couple years ago with the Marlins in the pandemic year. Knows the game really well. Is a great baseball man. He can be a good mentor for all those young players in Toronto. Maybe you could help out Vlad Jr., who of course took a big step defensively this year, winning the Gold Glove. He could help him improve his defense at first base even more. He can help out their manager John Schneider, who's going into his first full year as a manager. I think it's a good hire by the Blue Jays. He may not be a good manager, but he's a great baseball man. I think could definitely be help out as a bench coach. The New York Mets are making some staff changes. They have moved their bench coach from last year, Glenn Sherlock, to their catching instructor. They have promoted their hitting coach, Eric Chavez, to the bench coach. Their assistant hitting coach, Jeremy Barnes, was promoted to the full-time hitting coach. And supposedly they are now looking for a new bullpen coach. Their pitching coach, Jeremy Hefner, is taking more of a lead role when it comes to the pitching staff. He's also, I think, going to be a little bit more involved in the bullpen. He's going to try to bring in a bullpen coach who, on top of being a bullpen coach, will basically be an assistant pitching coach to Jeremy Hefner. So Mets making some staff changes. On to hockey scores from last night. You had the Bruins over the Lightning, 3-1. Bruins 19-3. They are rolling. Sharks shut out the Canadiens 4-0. Hurricanes over the Penguins 3-2 in overtime. You have the Flyers over the Islanders 3-1. Predators over the Ducks 2-1. Jets shut out the Avalanche 5-0. Flames over the Panthers 6-2. Capitals over the Canucks 5-1. Ovechkin had 2 goals in that game. He now has the most road goals in NHL history. I think it's like 434 the number is. He's getting close to 800 for his total for his career. And the Kraken beat the Kings 9-8 in overtime. 9-8 in a hockey game. 17 goals in a hockey game. Wow. 9-8. It was 3-3 after a period. There were 6 goals in the first period. There were 7 more, including 5 by the Kraken going in the second period. The Kraken were up 8-6 after 2 periods, and then the Kings were actually able to tie in the third, but then the Kraken won in overtime. Crazy game. We're going to win 9-8 in overtime. That's crazy. On to college basketball. You got your scores from yesterday. Houston is now the number 1 team in the country. They beat Norfolk State 100-52. Not a surprise. Houston's the top team in the country. Norfolk State is not good at all. Number 3, Virginia over Michigan 70-68. Yeah, a big upset. Marquette beats number 6 Baylor 96-70 in a big upset. You had number 16 Illinois over Syracuse 73-44. Number 19 Kentucky over Bellarmine 60-41. Number 22 Maryland over Louisville 79-54, and number 24 San Diego State over UC Irvine 72-69. Your NBA scores from last night. By the way, some NBA news. James Harden, Sixers star shooting guard. He's expected to come back Monday from his foot injury that he's been out with since November 3rd. Knicks over the Pistons, 141-10. Julius Randle on his birthday drops 36 points, 10 rebounds. He had 6 threes. Big game for him. Looked like the Randle from 2 years ago. Randle's actually playing a lot better than he was last year. Knicks get to 10-11. Pistons continue to struggle. Worst team in the league right now. Mavericks over the Warriors, 116-113. Luka, 41-point triple-double. Big game for him. And you had the Clippers over the Blazers, 118-112, despite Anthony Simon's 37 points. Reggie Jackson, 24 points and 12 assists in that game. Now time for the game picks. For college, it is the conference championship games. Not as many games because there's only so many conferences. A lot of good games, though. Pac-12 championship. Number 11, Utah against number 4, USC. I'm going with USC. Caleb Williams is probably the Heisman Trophy winner right now. He's throwing for over 3,700 yards and 34 touchdowns. USC right now is ranked 4th. If they win, they should get into the college football playoff. I have them winning the Pac-12 championship game and getting in. Number 3 TCU against number 13, against number 10 Kansas State. This is a game on paper. You look, TCU is undefeated. They're having a great year. Kansas State's got 3 losses. You would think TCU should roll. Not so fast. I think it'll be a really close game. The Big 12 is every year wide open. You ever know will it be Oklahoma? We're in past years it has been, but now with them falling off, will it be Baylor, TCU? Kansas State, obviously Kansas' football program isn't good. See, you never really know. Wisconsin at times has been very involved. Not so, that's the Big 12, never mind. But Big 12 is always wide open. I am taking TCU, though. I think it's a close game. That's 2.5. TCU's favored by 2.5. They may cover that, but not by much. I'm taking TCU, but in a close game. SEC Championship. Number 1, Georgia against number 14, LSU. LSU's just had a tough loss to Texas A&M, who sucks this year. I'm taking Georgia. They are just on a roll right now. They are rolling through everybody. I don't see anybody beating Georgia this year. In the American Athletic Championship, in the AAC Championship game, you have number 22, UCF, against number 18, Tulane. I'm going to take Tulane. I just think their overall is a slightly better team than UCF. I'm taking Tulane. Big Ten Championship, number 2, Michigan against Purdue. By the reason Purdue's in that game, because Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State are all in the same division, so only one team from that division can come out. And Purdue's, they're leading their division. Their division there is terrible. Michigan should roll in this one. Purdue loves to, out of nowhere, they'll just be rolling out loss after loss, and all of a sudden they just love to upset a top 5 team out of nowhere. But I don't think they do that. Michigan's got all the momentum after they just blew Ohio State out of the water. I'm taking Michigan. And number 9, Clemson against number 23, UNC, North Carolina, in the SEC Championship game. Clemson has not had their best year compared to past years, where, of course, they've won a couple national championships the last bunch of years. But North Carolina, they're struggling down the stretch here. I'm taking Clemson. Now for my NFL game picks. It is week 13. We are moving along the NFL. Thursday Night Football. Bills, Patriots, big game. And that super packed AFC East. Bills, Patriots. I'm going to take the Bills. Bills have a lot of guys out on defense. Now you got Von Miller, who's one of your best players. He's out now for a while. So many injuries in their secondary. But they do have depth on defense. I think they'll hold the Patriots enough. Since the Patriots are down their top back, Damian Harris now. I'm gonna take the Bills, who of course have an incredible offense as well. So I'll take the Bills on Thursday night. That'll be a close game since the Bills have a lot of injuries on defense. Mac Jones has been playing a lot better, and Belichick seems to always find a way to at least keep the game close against the Bills, usually. So I'll take the Bills. Steelers-Falcons at 1 o'clock Sunday. I'll take the Falcons. Steelers are playing a lot better. These last couple games, Kenny Pickett's playing a lot better. Falcons aren't playing great. Marcus Mariota is not a starting quarterback in this league, but I'll take the Falcons. Steelers are still alive, but the Falcons are only half game out of first. Broncos-Ravens. I'm taking the Ravens. Ravens can hold the fourth quarter lead for their life, but the Broncos are a mess. Their head coach Hackett's probably going after the year. Russell Wilson's been terrible. They got a lot of injuries, but I'm taking the Ravens in that one. Packers-Bears, the boldest rivalry in all of the NFL. Aaron Rodgers should play in this one. Both teams are bad. I'm going to take Green Bay. I will take the Green Bay Packers in this one. Rodgers should play. Christian Watson's got 6 touchdowns in his last 3 games. The Bears, I don't know if Justin Fields will play or not. They got nothing over there. All jokes aside, the Jets bring in their backup quarterback and Mike White. He just shredded them. Bears got nothing over there. Aaron Rodgers does still own the Bears, so I'll take Green Bay. Jaguars and Lions. I'm going to actually take Jacksonville in this game. I'm going to take Jacksonville. I don't trust Dan Campbell and the Lions with my life. Lions defense is getting better. Still isn't that great. Trevor Lawrence is starting to come into his own. I'll take Jacksonville. Browns, Texans. Oh, boy. Browns and Texans. The return to Deshaun Watson returns from his 11-game suspension against his former team, the Houston Texans. This is a big game. Supposedly 10 of Deshaun Watson's accusers will be in the press box, so going to be a lot of media attention for this game. I am going to take Cleveland. I don't know what we're getting out of Watson. He has not played. Remember, he didn't play last year either. He has not played in a year and a half plus. So I could see him being a little rusty. The Texans freaking suck. They're the worst team in football. They're on their backup quarterback now. And Watson does have, a great running game, a great offensive line. He's got some weapons. Mark Cooper's having a great year. Will probably be a Pro Bowler this year. Maybe even a low problem, a second or third team. I'll take Cleveland. Jets-Vikings. This is a big game. I love the Jets, but I am going to take the Vikings. That's a tough game for the Jets. This is going to be interesting. The Vikings loaded offense. Obviously, Kirk Cousins at 1 p.m. is great. Obviously, although he played well on Thanksgiving and in the nightcap. Usually on primetime, he's had his troubles. But at 1 p.m., he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. They got so many weapons. Sauce against Justin Jefferson will be a very interesting matchup. And the Jets offense looked a lot better with Mike White. That means the Bears defense is also awful. So I will take Minnesota. They are rolling right now. Commanders, Giants. Big game in the NFC East. Right now, Giants are a half game ahead of Commanders for third place in that division. They're half game ahead of them for that second wild card. Commanders have the third wild card spot. I'm actually going to take the Commanders. I don't like what I'm seeing out of the Giants. Daniel Jones is struggling. They got a lot of receivers out. Now they got a couple of starting offensive linemen out. I don't know if they'll get them back in time for this game. Commanders are playing really well. They're winning with Taylor Heineke. They're clicking. The Commanders looks like they might be getting Chase Young back. And the Giants have a banged up O-line. Daniel Jones will be running for his life again. I'll take the Commanders to continue. I'll say they stay hot. And that game, Giants lose, they'll drop into last place in the NFC East. Titans, Eagles. I'm going to take the Eagles in this one. Obviously the Titans got Derrick Henry, but the Eagles defense is one of the best units in the league. I like what I'm seeing out of Jalen Hurts. A.J. Brown returns to Tennessee. He says, turns against the Titans, is in Philly. He says the Titans fans don't like me. That'll be an interesting game, but I will take the Eagles. They're playing some good football right now. 405, Seahawks, Rams. I'm taking Seattle. The Rams might have Bryce Perkins in there. They got so many injuries. Their season's done. Seattle showing a bit. They dropped to that playoff position by about a game and a half or so. I will take Seattle to beat the Rams. You got the Dolphins and 49ers. Should be a great game. Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel, of course, was the offensive coordinator with the 49ers before he went to Miami. Two of the best teams in the league. That might be the game of the week. Should be a great game. I'm actually going to take San Francisco, actually. They got so many weapons. I think they use this to their advantage. They have an amazing defense. I think they bring their A game. I'll take the Niners in that game. 2025 Chiefs Bengals rematch of the AFC Championship. This is one that the Bengals could pull off an upset. Joe Burrow has balled against the Chiefs in his career. The Bengals, they beat them in the regular season. They beat them in the playoffs as well. It looks like they're getting Jamar Chase back, their star receiver. But I'm going to take the Chiefs. Chiefs is just so good this year. I love them defensively, which does not bode well facing Joe Burrow and the Bengals. But Patrick Mahomes is playing on a different level right now, so I will take the Chiefs. So that should be a great game. Another 425 game. Chargers-Raiders. I'm taking the Chargers. They have a lot of injury, but the Raiders, who have won their last two, looking a little better, but still, they're not good. Their defense is terrible. I'll take the Chargers, who might get Mike Williams back anyway. Sunday Night Football. Colts-Cowboys. I'm taking the Cowboys. Cowboys are playing really well right now. Got an amazing defense. They got a lot of weapons on offense. Colts offense is a mess. Jeff Saturday had the worst pluck man I've ever seen last week. I'll take Dallas. Monday Night Football. Saints against the Bucks. Saints, as bad as they've been, as many injuries as they've had, they are somehow only a game and a half out of first place in the South. The Saints have at time had Brady's number since he joined Tampa in the regular season. But I am going to take Tampa. They're not that good, the Bucks. They got a lot of injuries on their offensive line. Brady is washed. They got some injuries. But the Saints are depleted. Obviously, Mike Thomas is out. They're on their backup quarterback, Dalton. Dalton's not the greatest. They got injuries on defense all over the field. I don't like what Dennis Allen's doing. But I'll take the Bucks. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, so long, and have a great day.